It seems like putting yourself down is pretty trendy right now. I'm not really sure how this started, but it feels like every time I open up Twitter, 75% of the tweets on my timeline are self-deprecating humor. The fact that it is trendy right now gives some sort of indication as to who is really making this trend take off, and that's Gen Z. I think it really started with millennials, but it's further been taken off by the new generation, and technically, I'm actually Gen Z. If we're going off the official Gen Z timeline, I'm at the very tail end of it, where I'm at like kind of the middle between millennial and Gen Z, but I don't like to call myself Gen Z, sorry. But anyways, Gen Z is the generation on the come up. It's the kids and the teens and the young adults that will shape the culture of the future, and they're already doing so. Well, we're already doing so. And because of that, Gen Z creates pretty much all of the trends that you see on social media. Our influence cannot be understated, especially with regards to self-deprecating humor. By the way, I'm not totally against self-deprecating humor. You'll understand that by the end of this video. The origins of self-deprecating humor seem to take place with the doomer meme. If you aren't familiar with what a doomer is, it's basically a 20-something-year-old that is a millennial or a Gen Z, more often than not male, who is drowning in apathy, self-hatred, and depression, and thinks that there's nothing that can be done to save himself or the inevitable collapse of civilization. Basically the definition that I got off of Urban Dictionary. It is the ultimate pessimistic mindset. This doomer meme originally started on 4chan in 2018. And I think that this meme was the pivotal moment that we all just decided that, yeah, putting yourself down is the new norm and it's cool and relatable. I feel like I sound like a boomer talking about this. This is bad. Now, what I believe this has evolved into is a term that I coined, which is called the incognito doomer. This is someone who doesn't really have the typical physical characteristics of the meme doomer, but still has the same mentality. And so a lot of these incognito doomers are hidden in plain sight. From what I observe on a daily basis in real life and on the internet, it seems like this is the mindset of most people my age, because it makes you fit in and seem cool. And because as humans, one of our most common biological necessities is to fit in, nobody wants to question whether the self-deprecating humor is really harmless or not. I feel like there's been several points in my life, or situations specifically, where I've done this exact same thing. In the past, when I was with people that I admired, or people that I wanted to like me, or people that I had just met the first time, I'd be like, what's a good way to fit in here, to be relatable and to seem like the funny guy, and I would put myself down in some way. Relatability is everything, especially on the internet. You want a tweet to go viral? Self-deprecating humor will probably do the trick. You want to have a YouTube channel that people feel like they can connect with the content creator and enjoy your content?
To create the ruching, start by turning the stitch length to the number of times you've cried alone inside a McDonald's.
Self-deprecating humor can help with that immensely. I don't really know what the tipping point was to get this started, but it was this domino effect of a large group of people started doing it online, and then everyone else wanted to chime in because a lot of people are more miserable and more depressed nowadays, and they're like, yeah, let's just make this a thing without understanding how this is actually impacting young individuals. Young individuals, what am I sound like an old man. How do I do this without sounding like an old man? Listen, the reason I want to make this video is because I don't think people truly understand how much that self-deprecating humor, putting yourself down, and just saying all these things about yourself and the world is really impacting your reality. Because it's not really like the world is getting harder to live in. In fact, it's much easier to be comfortable nowadays. And yet, we're seeing so many more problems with young people's mindsets. What's changing is our approach to life, how we feel about life, and the thoughts that we tell ourselves on a daily basis. It's no secret now that depression rates are up in young people, that suicide rates are up. Why could this be happening? Well, I think that self-deprecating humor and being a doomer and just having no hope in the future is a big part of it. Yeah, being a part of this culture is gonna be great maybe socially at the start, but then you start consuming all of these things on a daily basis, not understanding that this is actually affecting your personality and your self-worth, and then you unconsciously start to feel worse about yourself. To explain this, I want you to fully understand and grasp the concept of your subconscious mind. I've talked about this before in a few of my videos, but this is the mind that takes in all information, whether that's sensory, visual, auditory, and it can't filter out what you're actually trying to say or do and what is false in what you take in. So when you consume these things that you see on social media related to self-deprecating humor, while it feels relatable maybe to your situation right now, what you're telling your subconscious mind is that this is the truth and that more negative thoughts are going to pop up within your head because you associate so strongly with the self-deprecating humor. Self-deprecating humor should not be as relatable to you as it is. That is a clear sign of some sort of deeper problem within you if you are constantly doing this. Because most people go with the crowd, they go with what everybody else is saying on social media, or the majority. And what the culture is like right now is talking negatively about the world, focusing on the negative things in the world. And all that is doing is amplifying negativity, and it's not actually helping you as much as you think it is. Because self-deprecating humor, it can be helpful, it can be funny in the appropriate way, but most of the time people aren't using it in the appropriate way. And this is why I said I'm not totally against self-deprecating humor, because I think that it's a great way to accept your flaws and embrace the things that maybe you can't change about yourself, that people like to pick at with you. Like, I don't know, I have a bit of a gap tooth. I have my front tooth is like chipped, one of my front teeth. And like, I really wouldn't give a shit if someone made fun of me for it. Not many people have, but yeah, I'd poke fun about it, be like, yeah, I'm freaking gap tooth man. That's the most creative thing I could think of. You really got to think about delivering it in the right way, because if you're that person in the friend group that constantly puts yourself down more than anyone else, no one is really going to realize that that's a problem. They're probably not going to speak up about it or even think twice about it, but you should start becoming aware of this. If that is you, there's a sign of something much deeper going on here. I'm sorry, but it's not cool to like be depressed and take pride in that the way that people do online. And I think the whole doomer thing, the whole self-deprecating humor thing, promotes a big victim mentality, because it's like, oh, everybody feels this way. That means that there's nothing we can really do to change it because we're all stuck in this. If it was just one or two people being self-deprecating, maybe it would make sense, but the whole social media, everybody online pretty much is like this. So it's like, wow, we actually can't do anything to make our lives better, and we're doomers. And what you need to understand is that your thoughts are incredibly powerful. What you tell yourself on a daily basis is incredibly powerful, and what you consume from social media should always be taken with a grain of salt. The narrative online needs to be changed about, yeah, it's cool to be broke, depressed, suicidal. Like, people are accepting these things and being like, haha, yeah, it's cool, it's just a thing, you know, we're all like this. That's not fucking cool. And please be wary of the culture of what's being pushed and how that is actually manipulating you in some way to feel worse about yourself. Thank you to all the patrons on this channel on Patreon. This is a platform where I'm putting out exclusive videos and podcasts you can't find anywhere else. If you want to check that out, the link is in the description. And that is it for this video. It was kind of just something that was bothering me that I want people to speak up about. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the very next video.